Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it was just a few days ago that, well, if you saw these patch notes that we shared a few days ago in a video, a few days ago, did I say a few days ago enough? That Kazakusan was nerfed with Locust removed from the pool, and SI7 Smuggler was, well, it was just worded incorrectly. This wasn't really a nerf, it was bugged, but they fixed it and we got dust as a result. So that's great. And by the way, before we get more into the video, we are on the road to 50,000 subs, and if you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby reference, I apologize for that, but if you feel like I've earned your subscription, I'd appreciate it if you hit that sub button and give old Ricky Bobby a like here. Anyways, so yes, the nerfs have gone live, and we're wondering, would Locust be enough to really shift up Kazakusan as one of the better treasures? There was even this infographic showing the best treasures for Kazakusan, and ironically, Locust was not number 1, it was actually number 3, with a win rate of 63.1% when chosen. And obviously Embers of Ragnaros, it's going to murder your opponent pretty well, and Book of the Dead being number 1 because, well, it kind of helps you recover against aggro, plus it's 7 damage to the face. It's pretty ridiculous. And well, what has changed? What has changed in the meta? Look at the graph of win rates across all ranks. It's basically the exact same as beforehand. And if you take a look at the meta, we'll sort by top 1000 legend, and we'll go over just the last 3 days. Basically, it's been live for the last few days, so you can see that the pictures are relatively similar as before. We have Spell Druid, which is Kazakusan Druid, right near the top. Ironically, if you filter by the last 7 days, so that'll bring in the win rate from before the nerfs, you'll see Spell Druid's win rate actually has gone up. It's gone up since it was 53.02, now it's 53.29. There's just some other decks that have helped gone up a bit on it, but they're basically targeting Spell Druid harder. You have Buff Paladin, which, if you haven't noticed, with all the aggro decks, they just play Iron Deep Trog. That's the way to kind of try and counter Druid, is you play Trog on 1 and beat them. And Buff Paladin does this, some Beast Druid lists do. Aggro Shadow Priest absolutely abuses Trog as well. That's like the main counter to the deck, is play the 1-drop and they can see because they can't deal with it. But you can see that the meta surrounding Spell Druid is mostly aggro. You have Fell Demon Hunter in here, at least at high legend. I haven't seen it a lot. I know Druid just dunks on it, but I'm guessing if you take a look at the matchup spread, it's doing well against aggro. But if you take a look at the matchup spread, the sample size is so small that it's not really that relevant. Yeah, you have a lot of aggro strategies and you have other scam strategies, and that's basically it. The control-ish style, like you have Control Warrior, Charge Warrior, all that stuff is falling off. Quest Hand Warlock, all these decks, they just can't keep up with Kazakusan coming out early, so people just flock to aggro. My legend climb, where I was playing Spell Druid, which, by the way, I just did not miss Locust at all, it was just aggro. And this is from Cantaloupe here. He shared his matchup spread. We were playing the same night, and yeah, he faced Druid, Warrior, Druid, Druid, Warrior, Druid, Demon Hunter, Druid, 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 Druid. That's the ladder. It's the nerf basically has had zero effect on the meta, and this is basically the way I felt about it after playing 2 days straight to get to Standard Legend, was that this might be the worst meta of Standard Hearthstone I've ever experienced. Little hyperbolic, it's not the worst. We've seen worse. Demon Seed, Day 1 Demon Hunter, but you know, you're in the heat of the moment, you're frustrated, and yeah, it is one of the worst though, I will say. I do think it is one of the worst, not the worst. You either play hyper aggro, as I mentioned, in OTK deck, so I face a lot of Mizaki Mage, that type of thing, which is also very frustrating, or LTK Warlock, or you play Kazakusan to become an OTK or quest deck. Because again, if you look at the rewards, all the best stuff you get, right, is burn. Burn, burn, burn. You're just killing your opponent from in hand. Embers of Ragnaros with the Solar Eclipse is just, what, 56 damage? Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, OTK Warriors with over 50 health in one swoop. It's not even a problem. And I said, I have no idea how rotation is going to fix this, but for me, this is such a horrible gameplay experience. The tweet got almost 300 likes, a lot of responses, and one of the most troubling ones I got, Grandmaster Casey responded, "First time I've decided to take a break from actually playing the game since 2013. He's a beta player. And even for him, this meta is just too much. The Druid scams and just the aggro. Like, there's no decision making when you're playing ladder. It felt like even my ladder wins felt just so hollow, so bad. If you've seen any clips of me lately, when I'm winning, I'm like, oh, that was a fun game. I just did 1 billion damage and didn't have to do anything. Where I lost to a Trog on 1, and there was no decision making to be made. And if I tried anything else, I would just lose. And if you do look at Kazakusan Druid, and the reason why I don't think they nerfed Kazakusan again too hard, we've talked about this before, is the fact that the big abusers of Kazakusan are all leaving in rotation in like a month or so, whenever it is. It hasn't been announced yet, but when Lightning Bloom leaves, when Overgrowth leaves, when Solar Eclipse, you can't double up on those spells for Kazakusan, are gone. But it kind of creates this problem where Kazakusan will kind of limit design space. If he's this powerful, and I guess if they don't print more cards that are of a similar power level, then, you know, you gotta not ever make cards that can cheat dragons out, that can ramp you quickly. Like, it's gonna be one of those design limiting things, and that's why I tweeted out that I wish Kazakusan required more of a build around and a dragon theme to get its payoff. Because right now, you don't even have to play a dragon in your deck other than him to get the payoff. And I thought perhaps changing it that for every dragon you play in a game, it would allow you to build a larger custom deck of treasures, would also play into the theme of dragons hoarding treasures. They like to do that. And basically the battle cry would be like, for every dragon you play this game, craft a custom deck of treasures. So you can't just spam out Kazakusan early. You're not going to get anything, right? You have to play some dragons, you have to play your slower strategy, and then you have this really cool big payoff later in the game, or you take that risk where maybe only a few treasures will get me across the finish line, create a really interesting dynamic and be more in the spirit of the card. I feel like the card spirit is just being destroyed by Druid. When you take a look at Control Warrior, I actually never really get that frustrated facing Control Warrior playing Kazakusan. They run it in the control shell, they have their removal, their armor gain, their sustainability, but they run dragons. They have like an Ixian Drake, like Onyxia, Raid Boss Onyxia, or an Ixian Warder, and they could maybe be rewarded for running a couple more dragons on top of that. Like, I feel like that would be a lot more cool of a card. It would create better deck building, and you just could not cheat it out. And I think it's something they won't do. They never truly change the wording on cards, but I think it'd be a really cool little change, and just thought I'd throw that out there for you guys to take in. But yeah, I would be really surprised if they do anything about Kazakusan, because rotation will occur in like a month or so, but it's a scary card that could be design limiting, and the fun of the card I felt like is worn off for the vast majority of people. Myself, I was in love with it the first couple days. It was really cool playing this amazing dragon, all these cool duels treasures, but man, when they kill you and every game is the exact same and there's no real counterplay to it, it's just a frustrating experience, especially when the main strategy to beat this strategy is just play aggro and go face. And that's not engaging either for a lot of people. You know, if you like your aggro decks, it's fine, but that's not really something I enjoy, and it doesn't really create fun Hearthstone stories. So yeah, Kazakusan on ladder is basically the exact same from the nerf, and the only thing it really hurt, the Locust removal, basically hurt the control decks. It didn't really hurt Druid. It hurt the control deck, so that's kind of sad to see. And I'd like to see what your guys' take on everything. If you sick of Kazakusan, would you like to see a change? You want to see how rotation plays out first? But overall, it's not the most fun on ladder. I'm hanging out in duels these days, or in arena, just pretty much anywhere else, and probably going to be doing that until we see any changes on ladder. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. And stay salty, my friends.